Good evening, everyone. We'll wait for 2-3 minutes so that other persons can join, and then we will start the session. In the meantime, uh, those who have joined here for the first time, I'm Vikas Pandey, PhD scholar in IDRP Space Science and Technology at IIT Jodhpur, and I will be taking the week 2 of live interactive session today, in which we will be discussing the uh, problems related to week 2 of the Joy of Computing using Python. These are some basic things about me. This is the site where you can go for more details. This is the Meet link that you can join every Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. And this is the YouTube link where you will find all the videos that are being done. Like all the lectures will be uploaded on this YouTube link. Okay. So anyone is having any questions or doubts, is free to ask.
Hello, good evening, Vikas sir. Can you hear my voice?
Yeah. Yes, yes. Okay, I can hear you.
Yes. Sir, I watched the video regarding that Fizzbuzz game. So I think it is possible to make a program for the Fizzbuzz game without using function, and it is
Yes, yes,
possible with using function also. So,
yes,
sir,
yes.
could you please tell me what is the advantage of using the function?
See, this is really a very relevant question, as well as this is something that we all should ponder upon. That why function? Because without using function, we can do the same thing. But when you are writing a very big code, okay, and some part of the code is being repeated again and again with small iterations, or maybe exactly the same. That is the purpose of using function, that we, instead of writing that maybe 5 to 10 lines of code every time or many times, if we are just putting the reference of the function, in that case we are reducing the number of lines of code, as well as we are ensuring that if there is a problem or if we want to change something, we can change at one place inside the function, and the whole program will change according to that. That is the purpose, and that is why we it is preferred to use functions, so that you can reuse it. The best thing is that it is reusable. The same thing can be used, and that is why in the function we have some input and output parameters, so that actually a constant thing cannot be used everywhere. So with small changes, and that changes we are controlling using the input and output thing. Is it clear?
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? If you have any question, you are free to ask. Otherwise, we will start the session, and then we will have the questions at the end of the session.
Well, sir, I have a question.
Yes,
Sir,
yes.
yes,
Sakshi.
sir. In today, just few minutes ago, I was watching the video on crowd computing. So, sir,
Yes, yes.
actually, I found that means we can plot a graph in Python by writing just 2 or 3 lines of code. But, sir, I found that means there was a part of the code where it was mentioned that if we are not specifying one of the axes, then also the code is running. But, sir, the means I was unable to get the thing properly. So, can you please tell me once very very clearly
See,
that if I
this is
specify, yes, sir.
yeah, this is very much in continuation with the previous question. This is something related to function. Okay, and you will be asking that how function, because function, I have not asked any question related to function. The thing is that all these keywords, okay, all the keywords, all the basic thing like plot, matplotlib, everything is actually a function defined in the basic library of the Python, okay, or whatever library you are using. We will be using libraries a lot. We will be discussing them. So there, when we will go in details in the function, you will see there are some default values. Okay, today also I will discuss. There are some default values that if you are putting some value for it, it is fine. Otherwise, it will take a value that is already predefined in its definition itself. By default, it is having a value there. And if you are changing it by some other value, then it's fine. Otherwise, it will take the value that is predefined for it. That is the reason that in some cases, no, in fact, I will be telling you today that in the print function itself, there are some default values which we can change if we need. Otherwise, they are by default run as it is. Okay. I'll be showing you. That is the
Yes, sir, and
first
I
question.
have another question, sir. Previously, I was from ISC background, so sir, I was proficient in Java. We had in our
Mhm.
syllabus. Here, sir, I am finding a very major difference is that means we are not putting any kind of semicolons after the
Semi.
sentences.
Yes.
So, sir, means is it mandatory that we are not means going to give any kind of semicolon after sentences, or means there
Not an
even
issue.
if I give the semicolon, there is not going to be any kind of problem, sir.
Uh, Not an issue. Semicolon. See, Python. If you are a bit from some fundamental, if you have some fundamental background of coding, you must be knowing
Yes,
that
sir.
programming languages are classified as low level, high level, low
Yes, sir.
level,
Yes,
mid
sir.
level, and high level
Yes.
languages. Okay, so Java and these things are not considered very high level language, and Python you can say is considered a top class language, means very high level language. High level language from the perspective of the computer. If you are a computer, it is very difficult for a computer to understand a high level language, a very complex language. And for a low level language or a machine language, it is very easy for it to understand. Okay. So these things like semicolon and these things has been taken care internally in case of Python. That is why Java, like why Java, C, C++ were quite popular earlier, because that time we didn't have this much computing power. Now computers have so much power that we don't need to worry about some small savings, and that is why Python runs you like very easily on all the computers nowadays. Okay, that is why these things has been taken care internally. Anyway, you can use semicolons. That is not an issue in Python. And when you are writing some one line code, like if you are writing many codes, then you will
Yes, sir.
have to use semicolon. One
And
code
sir,
and
in
then
one line
semicolon.
code means there is no hard and fast rule. So sir, means even if I give semicolon by mistake, I won't be penalized. Or means
Yes, yes,
there won't
not
be
an
an
issue.
error.
Not
Okay,
an
sir. Thank you, sir.
issue. Yeah. Yes, Sudeep, you have some question? Sudeep Ghosh, you have some question? You can unmute and say, okay, I think you have raised your hand by mistake, it seems. Yeah, Manan, you have question. You can unmute and say, it's fine. Yeah, Manan Tahir, you have some question? And I cannot read the messages while in the call. So try unmuting yourself and speaking up. Okay. And please raise your hands only if you have some questions. Fine. Okay. So let's move forward. We will be discussing more and in fact a lot. So this is something where the Python has been started in the course. Okay. And we will be going to tackle some questions related to Python. Okay. So the first question comes, the very basic question, which statement will print the joy of computing? Print with brackets, the joy of computing, print, the joy of computing, print F with bracket and in quotes, the joy of computing, or print with in quotes and bracket, the joy of computing. Which one will be the right?
Last one,
Don't
sir.
Sir,
hesitate.
Last
option
one.
D.
Yes,
Last
very
one.
good, Shakir. Yes,
Last one, sir.
sure. Yes. Okay. And please don't answer in chat. Please speak up. I am not going to read the chats and don't answer in chats, please. Okay. So, yes, before going in this, I would like to ask anyone is having any issue with installation of Anaconda, Spider, any issue you are facing? Anyone who has not been able to do it?
Yes, sir. Actually, I have been using Android, but sir, means Anaconda is not available for Android. So means,
Mhm.
is there any
Yes.
provision for installation of Anaconda in Android? Means
See,
other than my PC?
yes. See, in general, someone was talking about cloud computing. Yeah, when we started, someone asked a question related to cloud computing. Okay, cloud we will be taking advantage of cloud computing in case we are not able to do in our system. Okay, so actually there is a provision that Google provides that is free, available free of cost. Let me share. Uh, if you are not able to install or something, you can just type Google Colab. Okay, this is a free platform. You just need Google account. Okay, you can log in. Okay, and you can create a new notebook, and here you will be able to do your codes. And in fact, for you all, I'll be using this platform only so that it is easy. You can put your code, you can connect and run it. Okay, so to start with, I would like to show you some basic things about Python. Is my screen visible? Everyone is able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So, first, let's see some of the ways. In fact, you have been introduced with the print statement. So, the basic way of printing or displaying or giving an output in a Python command is using print in brackets and then in quotes the words. Okay. So here first we will have to connect because this is going to run not on our computer, on the Google servers. So it will connect. For the first time, it needs to be connected, and then you can run the notebook. This is something called Jupyter Notebook, provided like where it looks like a notebook, small codes in parts. Every small code snippet is a part. You can run it separately. Okay. So if we run it, I think it is taking some time to connect. Yeah. Okay. So you see in the output, hello is printed. Okay. Now there is a question from my side. Somewhere you see double quotes are being used. Somewhere single quotes are being used. Okay. If I put something, let me say, I can, yeah, yeah. If I create a new cell here, okay, and I put this will also run the same thing, right? So which one is the correct one? Can anyone help me? Which one is the correct one?
Sir,
Should
the
I use
letter one. Sir
the
means
letter?
the one which is printed at the extreme top. Sir, not the one which you wrote right now.
Okay, why this? Because it worked fine for both of them.
So both are correct.
Both are correct. Yes. There is no such restriction which one you have to use. Python actually provides us with a lot of flexibility compared to other languages. Okay, so here there is no such restriction whether you have to use double quotes or single quotes. Both are correct. Keep in mind that both are correct, but you will have to take care how to use them. Okay, like in the next sentence, you see here it is written print hello, how is your health? And here apostrophe s is used. In this case, if I was using a single quotes here, okay, if I was using a single quotes here and here, okay, so in this case, what will happen is that if we run this, it will show us an error because what it does is that start with this first quote mark and ends here. The rest part is ignored and it is not able to understand. So what is a solution in this case is that here to avoid it, you can use double quotes, right? But there are some cases where you cannot even use these things, double quotes. Okay, are you getting? Everyone is getting, or if you have confusion, please interrupt me, ask me questions. Okay, I am just showing these things so that it is easier to understand later on because print is the most basic function and it has a lot of things which are hidden inside it. Okay, so anyone is having a question, please ask. Okay.
So to avoid this confusion, we can use just triple quotes everywhere. Because
Triple quotes, yes, we can, but triple quotes is somewhat that is pre-formatted. Once, when we go further, when you are using variables inside the print, like sometimes we use something, how, his age is then a variable, then some other thing. In that case, you will not be able to format when it is in a triple quotes. Okay, that is why I'm avoiding that thing. When we go further, I will even tell that how triple quotes is used. Yes, Karthike, you have question?
I'm having a issue on programming assignment.
Yes, yes. Please.
Can I ask?
We will be discussing the programming assignment. Please stick to the class. We will be discussing
Okay,
that.
okay. Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay. So first way is to, if there is a single quote inside, put double quotes outside. If there is a double quote inside, put single quotes outside. But there can be some conditions like in the next part where you have to write something like Ram said to Sita's brother, how are you doing? Here, Sita's, there is an apostrophe S, as well as you you are doing well. This is in double quotes. Okay. So to avoid this such a confusion, something called escape sequence is used. Escape character is used. You see, uh, whatever you put after a single backslash and then quote, that is ignored. Okay. So in this case, this backslash just before you, uh, this backslash and then quote, and then after well, this backslash and then double quote. These two will be ignored from the programming point of view. It will not be considered as a code. So that will run as it is. Okay, only one character. And this will run fine. Okay. So if such a thing occurs, always take care. Both are valid. quotes and double quotes. And in case you are having a conflict, either use the opposite or try to use a escape character. Okay. Now let's go to our next question. Okay. So the correct in this case will be D, right? Okay. What will be the output of the following code? There are three variables: earth, like A equals to round, B equals to lot of, C equals to dust, full stop, all in quotes. Print earth is A, then print moon has, comma B, comma C. So what will be the
Option C,
output?
sir. Option C, sir.
Option C. Okay.
Option B.
Option B, someone says, okay. What more? Any other option? Okay. So let's understand what will be the correct answer. Okay. For in this line, it will print earth is. So this, both of them are correct in
Option
this
C
case.
is correct.
Option C is correct. Okay. Let's see one by one. Then in line 7, what will be printed? Hello.
Round.
Round. Okay. But I have a confusion. Nowhere it is written that it should be printed in the next line. Or is it that the print is in next line, so it is printing in next line?
Yes, Python is an interpreter-based language. It prints everything. No, it works every line by line code. So it's
Yes.
printing
So it
line by line.
works line by line. So if we are putting something in the next line, it it puts in the next line, right? So that is the basic understanding from our side, right? So this print A should actually print round in the next line. So both of these are correct. Then in line 8, it is printing moon has, then B, C. Moon has lot of dust. So will there be a new line here and here or not? That is the question.
No, sir.
No. Why?
No, sir.
Why
Sir,
not?
there is no backslash N, sir.
But there was no black backslash and here also. Here also
The
there was no
default
backslash and here also. Yes. Yes.
the
Uh,
default argument for end
hmm.
attribute for print function is /n.
Yes. Very good. End function, and why here it is not and here no space is also given, and yet a space will be generated. You people are saying why space? It should just come one after another. There is no space. There is no space here.
Print function prints different attributes after a space.
So we will be
Sir, is
discussing
the
that.
comma acting as a separator?
Yes, it is acting as a separator here. And in print, we are using comma as the separator only. Okay. So comma is not being printed, but instead of comma, a space is being printed. What you all agree? Okay, that C is the correct answer. So let's see and let's understand why this is so. Okay. So if we run this code, I think I should put it in just a minute. Just a minute. Let me correct this. I think it will keep on disconnected otherwise. Yeah. So you is the screen visible? Is it clear, or you need like the letters to be bigger? Hello. Is the screen comfortable or you need it to be bigger?
It's a little bit bigger.
Little bit bigger. Okay. Is it visible now? Okay. So you see, in this case, it is printing Earth is round, Moon has lot of dust. It is exactly like how we expected. But why is this happening? There are two functions, as we were discussing in the beginning. There are two attributes inside the print statement that is already built inside print statement, that is end and separator. Okay, so these two are predefined inside the. So if I print something, say I am printing something like, okay, so by default what is happening here is that, nothing. So by default, whenever we are running something, it is running with a new line. And when we are running, if we run it, you see it is running hello class, simple. And the next code will run in the next line. So if I put something here, okay. So if we run this, it is printing in the new line. But even when I am putting two new lines here, after that I am putting one single line blank, still it is printing in just like there is a difference of only one line. This is due to one simple reason, that is, by default, every print statement has something inbuilt inside it, that is, after it actually there is a comma, and it is like this and equals to, and this value by default contains backslash n, like we said, escape character, that is backslash, then whatever we put, backslash n is for new line. Okay, so this is the default. So if I run this, actually I am putting it again in a way, and so it should run the same as it was running earlier. But what if I change it? If I put it something like this, okay, see, now it will not run in a new line. It will get end by a dash. So we can, this is used in a lot of places to create such a structure. Sometimes you have to uh, write something like display, and then the next thing has to be displayed in the same line. In that case, you replace the end by some other value, like maybe a single space or such things. Okay, if I put just a single space, actually, it will just run like that. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
Yes.
similarly, when we are putting two things by a comma in a print statement, there is something called separator, the separation between these two values. That is by default a single space. Okay. So suppose if I want to print this, hello, how are you? Okay. And okay, So by default, it is a single space. Okay. So if we run it, it will print the things separated by single spaces. But if you are changing it, like if you are putting something by a comma or something like that, it will print that thing between these two. Okay. So you have to understand that these are the default values. Like I was saying, a function can have can have some default values. If you are not specifying what it is, then it will have those values. So in this case, sep and end have some default values. Like end have a default value of backslash n, and sep has a default value that is fixed, prefixed. If someone is not specifying, that will be the value, that is a single space. So based on this, if we run the code, here moon has, after that, it is just printing one single space and then putting lot of. Okay. What if we put something here like I put comma and then I put uh, sep equals to say backslash and let's put. Okay. So in this case, you will see that actually it will be printed in different lines. So if we are not specifying anything, a single space is used as the separation. And if we are specifying, it will be changed. And in case we are not specifying anything, the print will terminate with a backslash n until unless it is specified by end equals to whatever the value we want to put. Is it clear? If anyone is having any confusion, please ask. Okay. And these are two, that backslash n, you see, backslash n is used for new line and backslash t is used for tab spaces to create some spaces. Okay. Clear?
So recipe is a keyword.
Yes. SCP is not a keyword. It is an attribute inside the print.
Okay.
Attribute. It is a function attribute. Okay. So the correct answer is C. The earth is round, moon has lot of dust, fall in same line. Earth is round. These two are in different lines because the end is by default backslash n. Okay. Yeah. Let's now come to asking input from the user. We have shown how to display. Now let's ask input from the user. So what is the correct syntax or the correct grammar or way of getting is an input from a user in Python? So
Second
can
one.
anyone
B, B,
second one?
B,
B.
B option.
B or D?
B.
B, sir, B.
Second one, sir. Second one.
Yeah. So input is the keyword that is used to ask input or take input from the user, right? So it should be input enter age, and this enter age will be shown to the user, will be displayed to the user, right? And then the user can enter. And why not this D is, why D is not correct?
So because there are no single or double quotes which are specifying this enter age, so there
Okay,
will be an error.
okay, very good. But one thing I have for all of you, if you have tried, is it that we have to put something inside the this inside these brackets, or is it necessary to put something inside the brackets, or is it not?
No, sir, it's not necessary. We
Not
may or may
necessary.
not.
Yeah. So uh, input with brackets. This is the keyword asking an input. Whenever we put something inside it, it acts like a print statement. So ideally, it acts something like inside it, whatever will actually be displayed. So it is with the hidden print statement inside. Print and then in quotes, whatever you are putting, that is there. Ideally, this is the way. Because in previous in some mid-level languages, you must have seen that to ask an input, if someone has already done some coding or programming, you must have seen that there is a provision that you have to first print, like enter age, and then you ask for input. But in case
Yes,
of
sir.
Python, case of Python, both of these are being done in one code. That makes it easier for us, but a bit complex for the computer to process. But since the processing and computing power of computers have increased, now we can go with such complexities. It is finely managed. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so you see this is working fine, right? Let me zoom it a bit. See, it is asking to enter an age. Okay, if I enter, it takes it. Okay, and just stops there. It does nothing with it. Okay, so how can we display it? We can display it by printing the age. Okay, print age, because age is what is the role of age, the word age here. Can anyone explain?
It's a variable.
It's a variable. Very good. So it's a variable, and variable is something like we have seen in case of the scratch also. It's a placeholder where we can put some values to it. And here, one very good thing with Python is that it takes care of the type of data. Here, it is not specified what kind of data is age. There is no mention of integer or no mention of string or anything, but it automatically gets assigned. Okay, if we change it, it will still be fine, which was not which is not the case with all other programming languages. Okay, so you have to take care that you have to understand that here you don't need to define these things. You don't need to uh, explicitly say that this age will be a number. Okay, we will find out further that actually whenever we are giving an input, what is the type of data that is there? Can anyone tell?
String.
String. So by default, it is a string, and
String.
there is a way to find out what type of data we have. Like suppose I put a code block here, and I am just putting type, and then in bracket the variable age. Okay, and I am running it. So it is showing it str string. Okay, now there is something called as typecasting. We'll see in some next question. Okay, so you see, if you run this first uh, code, it will directly give us an error because int itself is a keyword that is used to convert whatever is inside it to an integer if it is convertible. Okay, and it will give an error. The second one is correct. Third one, get will not work. Fourth one, input will not work. Input will work, but this inside there is no code, so it will give an error. So what is the correct answer? That is B. Okay. Any confusion till here? Please feel free to ask. This whole session is about interaction. Okay. These things can be taught even through videos, but when you ask, that is the purpose of this whole session. Okay. So now we are coming to loops. Okay.
Sir,
What should we?
can I,
Yes.
sir, can I
Yes.
ask
Yes.
you? Sir,
Yes. Yes. Please.
will you explain how to use printf function? How and
Uh,
where to use? Print
Uh,
F.
pr- Printf is not used in Python. That is in case of C. C, I think. Yeah, C or yeah, C, not C plus plus. Yes. In case of C, in Python, the keyword is print, not printf.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. The same thing is being done here and in much easier way in Python.
The option
Okay.
C, this question's answer.
See,
Yeah. C.
see,
So what
11.
should be the value of F
Option C.
to print all numbers from 0 to 10? Okay.
Yes, sir.
C.
The option.
So everyone is saying 11. Why?
range
Why
starts
11?
with
Because you have to print 10.
range
Yes.
starts with
Yes.
zero index. Range starts
Mhm.
with the zero index.
Yeah. Range starts with 0 and goes till 1 less
N
than
minus
whatever.
1.
Yeah. N minus 1. So whatever value is given. So you can do one thing that is a very good practice. There are some good programming practices which are not taught or not explicitly said, but it is always preferred to put something like here if you want to go till 10, you will put 10 plus 1. That way, it is at 11, the same thing, but that way you will ensure that you will remember that what is the correct value, and it will be easier for anyone else also to understand that you want to go till the value 10. Though it is fine if we use 10, 11 also. Okay, let's see. I think, okay, that thing is missed, so I will tell here only. Just a minute. I think this is having some.
Sir, I had a question from the previous one. Sir,
Yes, yes.
so is it possible to means take multiple means inputs of multiple variables using a single line? So, for
Yes,
example, there are two variables A and B, and I want to take the input of both A and B in a single line. Sir, is it possible?
yes. It is possible, but not directly with not directly. Okay. You see, in Python, whatever input you are giving, it is not restricted. You can give a very long line of things. You can give separated by comma because whatever you give will be taken as a string only. Okay. So what you can do is that you can
Okay.
take three values from there, and then you can divide through other processings like string dot, like split, and these things are there where you can process it. You can take out the things. Okay, so that can be done, and in fact, that is the way that is done in case of Python. Okay, uh, unlike
Okay, sir.
other cases, here you don't define what is being taken. Anyway, whatever is taken is a string. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so but yes, explicitly, if you want to specify something like you want that something has to be taken as an integer only or a floating number only, like a decimal only, then you do the typecasting along with it. Okay, like you see in this case, it will ask enter your age, and then it is converting it into an integer. Okay, so if I am putting 30 here, it will take fine. But if I was to put something like ABC or something, okay, it will give me an error. Why? Because that input is working fine, but the conversion in int is not working fine. It is having the trouble. And this conversion from one type of data to another type of data is called typecasting. Okay. So here typecasting finds many roles. Okay. So now let's come to our question. The next question. Okay. For I in range 11, print I. So what it will do, range will do 0 to 10. But what if I had to start from 1? What will be the solution for this?
Starting enter from 1.
So where will we put that?
From 1 comma level.
So like we saw in the case of print statement, that set and end have some values by default, range also have some default values, like the starting point and incrementation. These are fixed by default. The numbers are increasing one at a time, and it is always starting with 0. But we can change it by specifying it. So if we put something at the beginning, that becomes the first number. So if we put 1 comma 11, it will start with 1 and go till 1 less than 11, that is 10. So you see in this case, it is starting with 1 and goes till 10. What if we have to skip one number at once? What can we do then?
1 comma level comma 1.
1. 1 is by default. Okay, so we will suppose we want to go, but skip 1 means we are going 2 at once, right? So we will be putting the value of increment, that is
Comma 2.
comma 2. Okay, and this is quite helpful in case we want to go in reverse order. Like you see 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. It didn't go till 10 also because uh, after 9 it is directly going to 11, and which is not being done here. What if we have to go in reverse order? So what will be the values? If we want to print something from 10 till 1 or 0, what will be the values?
Sir, minus
Minus 2.
1.
So
1 comma 11
starting
comma
the
minus 2.
1 comma 11 comma minus 2 or minus 1. Okay, let's see with minus 2 or minus 1 what happens. And I have some doubts. Anyone who can help? I think this will not run. Nothing can. Blank.
It should be
Can,
starting line should be 11 and
yes.
to 11.
Yes. Very good.
11.
Yeah. Starting is 11. Yet there is a small problem, but we will solve it. Okay. Starting will be 11, you say, and then ending is 1. Okay. Let's run this. We wanted 10 till 1 and starting from 11 till 3. Actually, I will not put minus 2 to make it easy to understand. Let's put it minus 1. Okay. So it is starting from 11 and going till 2 only. So we are in both the sides, we are 1 shifted. Because remember, the starting point is always covered. So when we are reversing it, the starting point should not be 10, but it should not be 11, but it should be 10. That is why always it is a very good practice to use plus 1 thing. Okay, plus 1 or minus 1, whatever is the increment. So here, starting point is not 11, it should be 10, and ending point will be 1 minus 1. Why? Because why not plus 1? Because generally plus 1 is the increment, but here minus 1 is the increment. So 1 minus 1, that is 0 itself. Okay. If we put something like this or we put 0, it will work fine for us. 10 to 1. Is it clear?
Sir,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
sir,
Yeah.
but it's showing 10 to 2 only, sir. 10 comma range. If I give on range 10 comma 1 comma minus 1, then giving value 10, 9, 8,
Yeah.
7, 6, 5,
Yeah.
4, 3, 2.
That is
But
what.
it's not showing one,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Please see what is being done here. What is being done is that I am putting 10 comma 1 minus 1. Why 1 minus 1? That is 0. Because remember, it never goes till the number that is given as the ending point. It goes 1 before that. Okay. So when you are putting 1, it is going till 2 only. It is not going for 1. Is it clear?
If I want to bring one also output means what shall I
Yeah.
do, sir?
So after, if we have to go till 1, so what will be the value after 1? Like if we go in the same sequence, what will be the value after 1? 0?
0.
0. Do you agree, Ayya?
0.
0.
Yeah. So put 0 there and see, it will work. Is it working now?
Can we not put 0 directly in place of writing 1 minus 1?
Yes, sir. Sure, we can do that. And that is the way generally people do it. But as a good programming practice for someone to understand, it is uh, better to put, it is not compulsory. And in fact, most of people go with 0. Okay. But to make it more understandable, it is preferred to have something like the value we want, and then after that the increment. If it is +1, we put +1. If it is -1, we put -1. That makes it easier for anyone else to understand. Anyway, that is 0 only.
Okay, okay.
Sir, I put 10, comma 0, comma -1.
Yeah, now I think it will be working fine.
I got the answer, sir.
Yes. So you got it, no? Like when we are putting,
Yes, sir.
the starting value will be included, but the ending value will not be included. So always put ending value, the next value after the value which you want, put 1 after it, like the next value. Or you can put the value plus or minus the increment. If you are not putting any increment, that is +1. If you are putting an increment, just put that. Like here, what we have done is 1 minus 1. -1 is the increment. Clear?
Sir, if we want to change this step that the increment point is 1, instead of that we want 2 or 3, can we
Yes,
place 2 instead of -1 here?
yes, we can do that. Just
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, we can do that. And in fact, we like in the next one, you see what I have done is that suppose I want to start from 2 and go till 100, all the even numbers. Okay, so if I run it, it will be printing 2, 4, 6, 8 like that till 100, because I have put 100 plus 1 or 100 plus 2. Even if I put, it will work till 100, skipping one at a time, right?
So instead of incrementing 1 or 2, is it possible for 0.5, something like that? 0.5.
For that, we will not, for that, range is not there.
Okay.
Range generally deals with integers.
Okay.
Okay? So the answer is 11. Okay. What will be the output of the following code? Okay. B equals to 0. For I in range 10. So what we are doing is that we are creating values starting from 0 till what value we are creating the value here? In range, when we are putting range 10, hence it starts from 0 and going till which value?
9, sir. So answer will be
9.
9.
45.
9.
45.
9. Okay, good. Answer also is ready. So what we are doing is that we are putting B equals to B plus I. So we are adding these numbers to B. In a way, we are adding numbers from 0 till 9. Okay, since B was already 0. So the answer is 45. Let's try this as well as try some iterations. Okay, and Mohammed Adnath, actually, I cannot see the chat, so please don't reply in chat. You are free to answer by unmuting yourself. Okay.
Sir, is this class recorded?
Yes. All this class is recorded and available on YouTube. Okay. So let's
Sir, I
see
got error message, sir.
if you are running this. What is the error that you are getting?
Sorry, sir, I am not initialized B equal to 0. That's why I got error.
Okay, yes, because B was not defined.
B equal.
Seeing the error, actually, you can understand a lot of things. You must be getting something like B is not defined. Okay, so in such cases, you can understand that B is not defined beforehand. Okay, so let's see this code.
Thank you, sir.
Well, sir, I had a question. So,
Yes.
if we are going to do the iteration by means, for example, we are going to change the iteration value by multiplying with 2 or 3 by each result. Then, sir, how are we going to write it?
This is you in which class you are? Like,
Sir, I am
first year,
from college, sir, first year.
college. Okay, first year. So you must understand that the concept of arithmetic progression does not apply in geometric progression, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I am
Okay,
asking about
so
the geometric one, sir.
yes, so range and these things relate to arithmetic kind of progression. Okay, for that, what you are talking about, that we will have to go by some other formulas. Okay, that is not a very common thing that is like used a lot. That is why it is not defined inside the general library of the Python.
Okay, sir.
If you are going for math library, it is defined there.
I get
Okay,
it, sir.
yeah. So now let's run this code. Just to make it easier for us to understand, what I have done is that I am printing B every time. Okay, so it is 0 first, then 0 is being added to it, it remains 0, then 1 is added, then 2 is added, then 3 is added, like that, and it goes till 45, and at last B is printed. But here B equals to B plus I. That is the way we are writing here, but there is a shorter way to write it also. If we have to add something to itself, what we generally do is that we write something like b equals to b equals to plus I. That means it will add I to itself. This will also run the same thing. Both of them are correct versions of the same code. Okay, sorry, not equals to plus, it should be plus equals to. Yeah. So if you put it like this, it will still run the same code. Okay, so both of these are this same codes written differently. So both of them are equivalent codes. Clear? So our answer is 45. Okay, now this is a question for everyone. What will be the output? Let's suppose the input is 20. Okay, so first it is asking for a number equals to input, enter the number, and here we will be entering 20. New number equals to
Error, sir, error. Option B is error.
error. Why?
None of the above.
Sir, because sir, the number is not converted into it.
None of the above, sir.
None of the above. Someone says error. 40 also someone has said. Okay.
String is multiplied type 2 times, sir. Entering the 20 is C option.
C option. Okay. C.
Option C.
Option C.
Yeah. So this is something that we have to understand, right? Because there is a lot of confusion.
This is string operation, sir. String operation.
Yes. With see, this multiplication and addition have multiple roles here. When we have a number that is being multiplied, it multiplies by the conventional way. But when we have a string that is multiplied, it will repeat it that many times. So the correct answer is 20, 20, 20, 20, 2 times. If we put multiplied by 4, it will be done 4 times, right? So we must understand what we are doing with, like when we are operating, what it is. Okay, if it is a string, it will behave like this, and if it is a number, it will behave the other. Okay, Someone was right to point out that since it is not a number, it will give an error. But since it is not a number, this is fine, but it will
Yes, sir,
not
it
give
was
an
my
error.
bad, sir. I
Yeah,
didn't get it. So it was
yeah,
my bad.
not an issue. That is when you will have some confusions only if you are trying. Okay, if you are not trying at all, you will not have confusion. Okay, and that is the purpose of this whole class, right? So let's
Yes, sir.
सर
let's run this. Yes, yes,
सर इफ
Murli.
हमने इनपुट के पहले इंट दिया होता तो आउटपुट 40 होता ना फिर.
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल,
ओके.
बिल्कुल. That would have been 40. Okay. Now you see this case, I am adding 2 to a string. What happens? Here it will be an error. Because addition, okay, okay, plus, sorry. I am putting 2 in quotes here. Right. Let me remove. Yeah. There are 2, 3 things to understand in this. First, let's go with the example we had. Okay. Yeah. And then here. Okay. So when we are running this, it is a string, then it is multiplied. That means it will be repeated 2 times. Okay. 2020. This is the correct answer we got. Now let's try some things with this. Okay. So what is the correct way to make it 40 is make number equals to int number or put an int here before the input. Clear? So let's try that also. Is it working or not? So we must understand that these operations must be done on correct data type. Just missing this small int can have different effect. Okay, so it is 40 here.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in last question, I'm not getting answers. Sir. The same only I am also typed, sir, but it's showing indentation error.
Okay, then
Expected indentation block B equal to
yeah.
0.
Mm.
For I
See,
in range of 10, I'm given, sir, with colon.
huh.
B is equal to
See,
B plus I print B. That only
Python have something called indentation. That is very important for Python. Okay. See, in line 4, you see there is a small tab. A tab on, if you are using the keyboard, a tabbed space
Yes,
is
sir.
used to create indentation. And that is very important because when the indentation ends, the for loop ends. Because in line 7 is outside the for loop. That is defined by the indentation. So you must be doing some error in spacing. When you are putting the spaces, there must be some error. Try removing the space and putting them correctly. It will work fine. Okay.
Sir, when you were
Now,
in Java
now
at that
also
time,
you are just
Yeah.
telling error, sir. I
Yes.
put on space, sir. B is equal to B plus I. Afterwards, I put on space.
Single
Even though
space
I
will
am
not do.
getting the same errors, like
Single space will not do. A tabbed
double
space
space
will
I
do.
need to.
No, not double space. You see, if I show you the keyboard, in fact, here also there is no tab. Mhm. You can configure something like a double space will be considered a tab, something like that. Okay. And if you are using this collab, by default, it will make a new line. When you are putting a new line here, after you have created colon, you see it is automatically indented. Try going with it. It will work fine for you. Okay. Don't put manual spaces. Use the automatic indentation if you are on a mobile device. And if you are on a computer, use the tab,
Sir, I'm
not
using collapse, sir.
okay. So collab, you see when you are writing till here, line 3, when you put the enter, it will automatically go to the correct position. Use that. Don't put
Yes, sir.
any kind of spaces.
Print B afterwards. Before
and
that,
then
I need to put spaces, sir. I need to enter
no,
key. Put enter key,
yeah,
yes, sir.
yeah. Just when you are putting enter key, you will see that it is going to the correct position. When you have to remove it, use the delete button, but use the default these values, then it will work fine for
Sir, is there any shortcut
Be
key? Sir,
showing
means
error, sir.
at the end of the program, when we press that key, the entire program is going to be indented. So previously in
you.
Java, when we used to do in Blue software, we used to press Control Shift R and the entire thing used to be indented.
Yes, that is available with the this spider is there. In that we have something. This is since a notebook. It is there such shortcuts, and in fact there might be. I have not explored that shortcut thing here. By default, it comes so. I have not explored anyway. But I think that is not available in case of notebook. It is available in case of IDs, Spider, Visual
Oh,
Studio. These things it is available.
okay, sir.
Okay, so let's try a separate
Okay.
thing. That is, we have seen the multiplication works with string and numbers both. When it is being done with string, it brings them together like multiple times, that many times. And if it is used with a number, it multiplies it. So is it that the addition function will also work with a string? For a number, it is fine. If we put addition here, it works, right? If I put addition here,
Sir, I think it will be concatenated.
yes, but not with a number. See,
So with
when it
two, sir.
when we are creating, when we are already converting to an integer, it is fine. But what if I am not converting? Okay, let me do it.
Sir, I
Uh,
think then it will be 202.
202. Let's see. If we run it, and if we are putting 20 here, it is a string, right? And you see there is an error. Addition, you are correct that a concatenation occurs, but the problem is that the number 2 cannot be considered a string. Concatenation occurs in two strings. So this will work fine if the 2 is defined as a string that is inside quotes. Okay, so addition works on strings, two strings together, not on a number and a string. Fine. Anyone is having any confusion, you can
Yes,
ask.
sir, fine.
Yeah. So in our in this question, 2020 will be the correct answer. Now let's come to the next question. What will be the output of the following code? Number equals to 20. Okay. Number equals to 20 modulus 10 multiplied by 0. Okay. If number is less than 0, then it will display number is less than 0. If number is more than 0, it will display more than 0. And if it is 0, it will display number is 0. So what I
Zero,
am
sir. Option
proposing?
C, sir.
Option C.
Option C.
No, option D, I guess. No.
With regions.
Sir,
C,
we
C,
have to put a double
zero.
equal to check if
C,
it
sir,
is
C.
0 or not.
Yeah. Okay. In doing
Since
this,
there are since there is 1 equal to, it will just assign 0 to a number and it will print that option, I think.
yes. If in the last case, it will assign number equal to 0. But this yeah,
Sir,
it will
this is
assign.
going to be relational operator, sir. If I am not mistaken, sir, number equal to 0 will be, sir, the case. Not number equal to 0, sir. I think
what will
syntax error.
in this case what will be the error? Yes, Bharat.
Yes,
Error.
syntax error,
Okay.
sir.
Let's check what will be the correct thing here. Okay. So if we run this, yeah, Kilam, I hear some noise from your side. Can you mute yourself? So what it is? Okay, sorry, I have already corrected them. So it is showing an error, syntax error. And when we are talking about syntax error, can anyone tell what is a syntax error or what is syntax?
Sir, when the lines of the code are not written in the proper manner as the program wants it. Sir, it's written in some kind of manner different from the original programming syntax which has been defined by the program creator.
So I am asking what is syntax?
Sir, there should be equal number line.
Yeah, what you are saying, Smriti, I was not able to hear.
There should be equal.
Yeah, that I agree. There should be a relational operator double equals to. Yes,
Syntax
Tejasvi,
can be
you are saying
considered
something.
as a grammar
Syntax
for
is
a
the set of rules, sir.
Yes,
The
set of
correct
rules.
set of rules.
Or since it is a language, we will say something like it is the grammar of the language. If the grammar is not followed, it is a syntax error. Okay, that means the grammar of the language, that is the definition of the language, is not followed. That means it is a syntax error. Okay, so the correct syntax for a comparison is, see, in someone also said that in this case, this print number is 0 will be printed because it will assign the value 0 to the number. Okay, but this is not the case in case of Python. In some other languages, this is the case that it is assigned. But Python has taken care, because this is one of the very common mistakes we generally do. Most of the people generally do is that instead of using double equals to, single equals to is used. So in case of Python, it is by definition, it must be a double equals to there. Okay, it will not assign. Okay, so the correct way is double equals to, and in this case, it will run with the output number is 0. Is it fine? So the correct answer is, sorry, the correct answer is error. Fine. Any confusion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So let's come to problem A, that is what will be the output of the following code. A equals to 0. We are having a value A, having not 0, sorry, A equals to 10. For I in range 10, again, remember, it will be producing values from 0 to 9 only. A equals to I. So it is changing A to whatever value is here and then printing I. So what will be the value? And remember, there is an indentation here in case of A equals to I, but this print I, there is no indentation. So what will be the output?
The answer will be 10, sir. Answer will be 10, sir.
10. Okay, someone says 10.
Should be 9.
9. Okay.
9.
9.
Answer will be 9, sir.
9.
Sir,
Yes.
I want to tell something, sir. I want to verify what I have learned is right or not. Sir, because when means up to 9 the loop is rotating, and when the value becomes 10, when the value of I becomes 10, the value becomes out of the loop, and then the value of 10 gets printed. Sir, please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that is the case of with while loop. Okay, so in this case,
Yes, sir.
the value does not reach that next value. Okay, so when it
I
is
think
ending the loop,
the
yeah,
yeah I is not within the out in the outer scope, so it is within the scope, so it does
yes,
not affect. There
yes.
will be
So
a like unassignment.
yes, so let's run this and check. Okay, so we are putting a equals to 10, and let's see. And what we'll do is that we will put a print statement inside also to see actually what is happening. Okay, first let's run this, check the answer, and then we will put one print statement. See, it is like a tester. We are using the print statement as a tester. Wherever we want to check, we will put. So how the
Sir, but
value?
here it is print A, sir. Sir, in the question here it is there it is print I, and sir here it is print A.
Okay, anyway, both are the same value. Let's put I. Still 9. Okay,
Okay.
both will have the same value. So to check what is happening, what we can do is that we can put a print here, and we can print. Let's put A only. Okay, since I we are pointing down. Okay, and let's print. So you see, first it though it was 10, it is assigning the value 0, 1, 2, 3 till 9, and then since line 7 is again being printed, so 9 is again printed. Okay, so the correct answer will be 9, not 10. So always remember, these questions are just to keep this in mind, that the range goes one less than the value that is given there. Always remember, since this is a big confusion that happens, always remember that it will be going one less than that. Okay, so now let's come to what will be the output of the following code. A equals to 1 for I in range 10. Again, it will go from 0 to 9. A equals to A plus I plus 1. So it is adding I plus 1 every time. Here it is adding I plus 1. So it will not, this part I plus 1 will start from 1 and go till 10, since we are adding 1 to it every time. So what will be the output? And A itself is 1 at first. So the first value will be 1 plus 1. Like that it should continue. So what will be the value?
56, sir.
56. Since we know that sum of first 10 natural numbers is 55,
55, sir.
and then
Plus 1.
plus 1, that is 56. Anyone else with a different answer?
56.
56, right? So let's just verify it. And I have put the print inside the for loop to see each step. Yeah. So 1 plus 1, that is 2. Then 2 plus 2, 4. 4 plus 3, 7. Like that. And at last it is giving us 56. Okay. So 56 is the correct answer. We verified. It is fine. So our mathematics and Python's mathematics is matching. Okay. So what will be the output of following code? Here, Sakshi, you can see what is happening here. That when there you were understanding that when the loop is completing, it is incrementing by 1. But here in this case, you see that while while is something that checks after the loop. While runs first, then checks. Okay. So
Option B, sir.
option B.
B.
Okay.
Option B.
B.
Sir,
Okay.
but sir,
Let's.
that won't be comma, sir. That will be in separate lines.
Yeah. That will not be comma. To make
Option B.
comma, we will have to put and equals to comma in quotes, right? Uh, yes. Here it should be
10 will not be
comma
printed. 10 will not be
and
printed.
equals to comma. So 10, if it was a for loop, it was something called range, 10 would not have been printed. But in this case, what happens is that this loop runs first and then it checks. So what happens is that a equals to 0. You start with that, it goes inside and it checks the condition. A is less than 10. Is it true or false? Is it true or false in this
True,
case?
sir. True.
True. So it will go inside and it will run this code. A equals to a plus 2. That a becomes 2 now and it will print a. That is 2. So this option. That next it will loop here and then it will check again. Is it still correct or not? So it is still true. A is less than 10. 2 is less than 10. So it will run again. It will increase it by and it will print 4. This thing will keep happening till 8. Till 8 there is no confusion. Okay. When it is 8, it goes there and then it is still less than 10 and then it goes a equals to a plus 2. That is, it becomes 10 and it prints 10. So actually 10 will be printed and then it will go and check. And here it finds that actually now a is not less than 10 and then it comes out of loop. So while loop is something that checks after the code is run. And in this while loop, remember that incrementation is not being done on the top, it is being done inside the loop. While loop is something that is sometimes used to run something infinite number of times, undefined number of times. For loop is used to run something defined number of times. Like when we already know how many times we have to run. While loop is something like when such condition is till this condition is there, you have to keep running. Okay. So it is checked after the whole code is run, then it goes. Checking is not done at the beginning. Okay. So the correct answer will be this one. Let's check. So, okay, it is going till.
So here the
Okay.
value is
Yeah,
0,
yeah,
sir.
yeah,
There it
zero.
was
Yeah,
1, sir.
I put one. Yeah. So you see, when I am putting it from 1, actually it is going to 11. Okay. Because after it has increased, it will check. So it should be 0. In the question, it was 0. So to understand it, uh, whenever these conditions are being checked, a is less than 10 or a is more than 10, these things are done using boolean true and false. Okay. So you can understand, like if we put 10 is less than 10, this is false. Okay. Or when we are putting 11 is less than 10, a false statement. So it is something like while this statement is true. If I am putting something like 9 or 8 here, it will give us true. So the condition true and false are important. When till it is true, this while loop will run. When it becomes false, it will stop. Fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
By the way, sir, I have a question. Sir, is
Yes,
there
yes,
any kind of do while loop, sir? We had in Java do while loop, sir. Is there anything in Python 9 like that?
yes. But it is a bit easier than Java. So let's not confuse and with Java or anything. Learn it like you are learning a fresh language because it
Yes.
is a bit easier. Don't try to relate it with Java or C, C++. Otherwise, you will put many complexities into this. This is easier to implement and much powerful than Java or C, C++ due to its versatility and its application in a lot of fields. Okay, so don't confuse it with
Okay.
other languages. Otherwise, that will like hamper the understanding of this language. It is much easier. Okay, and that is why this uh, subject is the joy of computing using Python to make it joyous for everyone, to make it easier for everyone. Okay. Okay, now let's come to programming assignment. Okay, given an integer as an input, write a program to print that integer. So can anyone tell what will be the correct way to do it?
Sir, input function we have to typecast into.
Yes, input, and then how will we typecast it? This is input function, right? Then how will we typecast it?
Input.
Yes, this
Function.
whole thing will be inside the int function, right? And that will give us the correct answer. Now, next is given two integers as an input, two integers as input, write a program to print the sum of these two integers. Okay. Can anyone tell how can we do it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
A
Yes, Bharat.
equal to input, A equal to input, then open close brackets, and then we have to convert it into int of A. A is equal to int of A. Similarly, for B, we also have to write B is equal to int of input bracket open close, and then so C is equal to A plus B, and then print C.
Okay. C A plus B, C equals to print. Oh, sorry. Uh, it will be.
Or we can directly print it as A plus B. Print
Yes.
A plus B.
Yes. Very good. That is also a way.
Sir, I have a question. So, can we give round brackets around the int also?
Yes.
Okay, sir.
And this the Python's versatility you can try by running a code. I will suggest everyone to try it. Okay. Write something like print int input.
Sir, I am
First,
given A equal to 10, B equal to 10, C is equal to A plus B, like that.
no, here we are asking for input. Okay. And
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
like you can write in single,
This is single line, sir.
yes, single line also you can run it and it will work fine. In single line we can do, and there is one more function that is eval. Eval. Okay. So you can directly ask someone with for an expression. Okay. Like you can ask,
So
uh,
here you can also directly print a C value.
yes. Yeah, I was not able to get you what you are asking. Hello. Yeah. This whole code can even be implemented in one line, or even in an easier way, you can ask directly print and then eval and then in bracket input and enter the expression. Directly you can ask for an expression from the user, and if the user enters something like 10 plus 20, that will be evaluated and given as an output. Okay, that makes it much easier for us to implement single line codes. Like different line, it is easier for beginning, but when we are going further in single lines, we can implement a lot of nested functions. Okay, that makes it very versatile. So all the three ways are fine. Any confusion in this? Hello, am I audible?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. I am not audible, or
Sir,
if you are
print
not?
of int and
Yes.
then input enter a number I am given, sir.
Hmm.
But it's showing errors.
What it is showing?
Print open parenthesis int, then open parenthesis input, and then open parenthesis single quotes enter a number.
Okay. Yeah, actually it will be closed here also, right? And then
Sir,
whole thing
I'm
has to be
separately
closed.
given.
Okay. So what error it is showing?
Enter a input number. Sir, I'm given 20. I'm getting 20 10, sir. C is equal to A plus B road, sir, after that.
Yes, yes. So you are running by the which method? Where you are taking
Collapse.
a no, no, like you are taking
I'm
every
given.
input separately, right? So
Yes, sir.
C,
Print of int. Yes, sir.
so you are printing C, or what you, in fact, here we can print
Yes,
C
sir.
also.
C is equal to A
So,
plus B I am given, sir.
yeah, so you are not converting A and B to inputs, like integers. That is the reason. Like the one question we saw earlier also, we have to typecast it. If we are going by, if we are doing for directly input, the input is a string. Okay, so if I
Okay.
erase this all, okay, yeah, I think here I can.
Sir, how I can convert it string to an integer, sir? I'm
See,
getting both 10 and 20 as an input.
yeah, so what you can do is
After
that
that,
you can put a equals to input. See, so when you are taking an input, it is a string. The next thing what we have to do is that we have to convert it into an integer. So you can either write a equals to int and then a, or for your ease you can even write, instead of this whole thing, you can even write something like a equals to uh, a underscore integer, to understand that you are creating a new number actually, equals to int a. Or the best thing is to combine both of these and write something like a equals to int, then input, and then in bracket, and then b equals to int. So you are taking an input. See, the codes always run from right to left. So for, like, from inside to outside. So first this thing will run. So it will ask an input. Then this outer bracket will run. It will get converted to integer. And then it will be stored in A. That is the next step. Okay. Similarly for B, int input brackets. Okay. Here also, first it will ask for an input. Once that input is got, it will convert it into an integer, and then it will store into the value B. Next, what you have to do is that you are putting C equals to A plus B. Don't put the indentation. Actually, I don't have space, so I am putting here. So now you have a variable C and you want to print C, or you can directly even write you can combine these two things as print hello.
Sir, I'm
Yes.
worked it.
Yeah. You got it?
I got answer, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Got right. So now let's move on to some other programming assignments. You are given a number as an input. You have to display all the numbers from 0 till that number x. Okay. It can be 5, 10, any number. Okay. How will you run this?
Sir, for I in range of x plus 1.
For I
I in
in
range,
range
bracket open, x plus 1, bracket
plus 1.
close, semicolon.
Semicolon or colon?
Colon, sir. Means,
Colon. Okay.
yes, sir.
And then we will have an
And then,
indentation
sir,
and
print I, sir. Print I.
print I. But where is x defined?
Sir, before that, we have to define x, sir.
Yes, we have to define x equals to int input. We will have to take an integer and input. Fine. Any confusion in this?
Yes.
Okay. I am just
No, sir.
writing it here. You have to run, check, and for any query, you are free to ask. Please feel free to ask because when you will try it, actually, when I am running, and the same thing when you will run, there will be some problems because there are small things which comes with practice only. This is something very similar to mathematics. The more you practice, more you are into it, you will get acquainted with what the things are. And there is no thing like if you learn one language, you cannot learn other language. The concept of most of the programming or coding is same, whatever language it is. So once you are understanding it, you will be able to do any language. Okay, so let's move to fourth question. A very simple one. Write a program to take an input from the user and print that output. Taking an input and printing it as it is. How can we do this?
Sir, print, bracket
Print.
opens,
Int and input.
print, bracket opens, input,
Yes.
Int and input.
bracket opens, closes. That's it.
Close. That's it. Or if we go by simple way, we can
So we can
take,
write enter a number also inside that.
enter number and this thing. So
Enter value.
a single line code we can put print and then input inside it. Fine. So something like this, right? Print with input bracket inside it. Okay, it has become small. Yeah. Write a program to take an input of two numbers, A and B, and print the difference A minus B. How can this be done?
So print of
Anyone is
input.
good.
So
Yeah, print of
int of input.
print
Inside
of
that bracket
input.
opens.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Bracket
That
open.
is
Okay.
the print of input means a bracket, sir. Off means a bracket.
Okay.
So print say bracket int bracket input. And then sir inside that I'm going to write enter a number A.
Number A.
So bracket close. Inputs bracket also close.
Closed.
minus int of input, enter number B.
Int of
Int of
input.
input, enter number B.
Okay.
Sir, you have missed out one int, sir, before A, before that first input. There will be an
Okay.
int, and sir, the brackets will be closed. Then, sir,
Int.
program will run.
This whole bracket will be closed. Then the program should run. Right?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes.
anyone with another idea? Any other idea?
Sir, is it necessary that the whole thing should be in one line?
No, it is not necessary.
So then, like, we can write it as a is equal to int of int input, then b is equal
Yes.
to int
Yes.
input, then print a minus b.
Yes, certainly. And that is the standard way. Why?
Yeah.
Because
That's easy to understand.
yeah,
For
easy to
others.
understand, as well as there is one thing that is a bit problematic in this case. Okay, you are running and you are getting the output, but many a times just getting the output is not the purpose. Okay,
There'll
many
be
a times,
minus.
yeah, minus is fine. I have put minus. Along with
No,
this,
sir, I'm telling, sir, in many cases, the answer will be negative, sir, in this case. And in the second case, which you are saying, in that case, we can means actually evaluate which condition will be greater, then we can get a positive value if we want.
it is still fine. But there is one thing we must take care of, that sometimes these codes are part of a bigger program. In that case, we might be using this value further. We might be needing to use this value like a, b, or even the difference at some later stage. Just showing the difference of two numbers is certainly of no use. Certainly, it must be being used somewhere else, right? So that is why variables are there. That is why mostly we go with variables, like we go with int input, though it seemed like not a smart idea at first. But when the same value or variables are being used at different places, it is always smarter to use something like something which is a variable. C equals to a minus b, or we can put if a is greater than b if we want absolute values. Okay, and then we can
Extra bracket will come, sir.
what you are saying.
In
I
A,
didn't get. Yes,
extra
yes.
bracket parenthesis in A and B. Close bracket, sir.
In the first one,
A and B, sir.
a and b. Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
at the last there will be brackets. Yes, very true. Actually, I have written, but it is, I think, having some network delay.
Even the
That is,
inverted commas, like the double inverted commas, are not required, right?
yeah,
Like
it's,
inside the input function, that double inverted commas
yeah,
are not
not
required.
required. I have just put it like enter the number. It can be written, and these things can be written. No? That's why. Okay, so we can do it by any way. Like in this case, also the difference is not being stored. Okay, we are just displaying the difference. In case we had to display store the difference, we would have written one more line of code before it, storing it in a variable. Fine. Okay. Now we
Sir, I'm directly given print A minus B like that, sir, last line for showing
yes,
output.
yes, you can do that. Yeah, Mandini,
Okay.
Madan, you have some question? Yes, Mandini, Madan. Okay, if you have no question, you can unraise your hand. Yeah. So now let's go to this question where we are we have to take a string as string means that is a character, like characters, combination of characters A, B, C, and this thing. And we are saying that all the inputs are actually strings. Okay. And an integer A. So we are getting S and A. So we have to make two variables S and A. Write a program to print string S a number of times. Okay, so how can we do this? Like, suppose we are putting we are giving Python and 5 as an input. So it should write Python 5 times in different lines. How can we do that?
So for that, at
Sir.
first we have to
S is
take
equal
the
to
input of the strings and the integer, means as we have discussed in the previous questions. So s equal to input of enter a string, and integer also int of input of that. We have to take it at first,
and for I
and
in
then
range
we have to use a for loop. So where we are going to specify that for I in range bracket
a plus 1,
bracket 5. Yeah.
Yes,
and then
Bharat,
print
you are also saying yes.
and print s into 8.
Yes, enter. Okay, Bharat, you were saying something plus 1. I didn't
A plus
get
1,
it.
I said range. For I
Range.
in range, A
Okay.
plus.
No, not
Okay.
necessary.
Yes.
I
So
think I won't say, sir. I will say number of times is okay, sir.
yes. Uh, yes, there is a small confusion that someone says
The range
to
index goes from 0 to
0
n,
to
right?
8. Yeah, okay,
0.
okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Since it
Yes.
is 0 to 5 means 0 to 4, so range if it is 5, then it will be
Yes.
all right.
So actually, the main use of range is to run that many number of times. Okay. But when we are uh, showing it in our terms, it is not going till that number. But if we count the number of numbers there, that is equal to the number given there. Okay. So when we are putting range 5, that is, it is generating from 0 to 4, and the total number of iterations is actually 5. Okay. We can have these things. Okay. So there are different ways, and one of these, there can be different ways to run this. Okay. One is to have this in a loop and then run this. Okay. And one small task for you, can you do this using the multiplication function we use, like multiplication operator we use with a string?
Yes, sir.
Can it be done? Yes. How, Smriti? Can anyone try
Sir, S star A.
a star A, but that will print in single line without any spaces?
Sir, print, um, so we have to use backslash n then, sir.
Yeah. I have a suggestion, and you have to try. Okay. Can we do something like S plus in quotes backslash n, and this whole thing asterisk A? Okay. And print this. I think that will remove the requirement of this
For loop requirement
for
can be
loop.
removed.
Yes, sir,
Yes,
it can be done, sir.
it can be done. Try and see whether it is working or not. Yes, Mandli Rami Reddy, you have some question? Okay, so that's all for today's class. Now it is open for you to ask questions, doubts, or anything you feel like asking. Please feel free to ask.
Sir, last question. You are
Yeah,
telling about multiplication.
this one, the
Question
last thing,
I'm asking.
this question.
No, sir, you're asking to print multiplication like that.
Yeah, that I suggested, right? That you can do something like this, but try on your own. I am not saying that this is the correct answer. It might be wrong. You
Sir,
have to try.
this
Yes.
is just going to reduce the time complexity of the code, right? Nothing else.
Uh, Actually, time when we are going to high level languages, time complexity is not that relevant, right? When we are going with some codes where time complexity is relevant, we go
Yeah.
with something some different kind, like different kind of basic languages like embedded C, C, when you are talking about hardware. Okay.
Actually, like Python, when we go, is like 75 times. It takes more 75 times more execution time than C and C++. So
Yes,
then, like we
certainly.
need to work on the time complexity of the code that we
Y-
do, right?
Yes,
So we
because
need to avoid as much as possible the for loops and while
yeah,
loops that increase the time
yes,
complexity.
yes, that actually helps a lot. And when the code gets bigger and bigger, you will see the compile it is interpreted language, not compiled. So the runtime will actually increase a lot, and that is why still in case of hardwares, like when you are implementing the codes on the hardware directly, there still Python has not widely been accepted yet. This is one of the reason.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, any other?
Well, sir.
Yes, yes,
Yes, sir, I had a question, sir.
yes.
Sir, in week 3, sir, there was a question, sir, means finding out the trimmed mean. I had some difficulty understanding that, sir. Can you please explain it?
uh,
Trimmed mean, sir.
the best place to see this is, see, trimmed mean is something that is found in the math library, right? The,
Yes, sir.
and Python have a very good uh, support, like support, or you can say the manual is quite well maintained. Not manual. What we can say is that it is its community is quite strong, right? So whatever keyword, if you are not able to get it, just type on any search engine. The first thing you will find is the Python's official library link. There you will get the details of it, what it is
Yes,
and
sir. Actually, sir,
how it
there
is.
were many. Yes, sir.
So go to the official one. There you will get how it is implemented step by step.
Okay, sir.
If even if after that you are not able to understand, you just post in the classroom. I think I have given the classroom link, right? There you can put there
Mm,
and you
sir,
can.
sir, I haven't got the classroom link, sir.
Okay. This is something outside this, like not directly. I just created it so that anyone, if you people can want to interact with each other for some question related things, you can do that. You can use this classroom code to join.
Okay, sir. Then I am joining.
No. No. Any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all. So I think that's all
Sir,
for today.
1 minute.
Yes.
Sir, 1 minute.
Yes, 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 please.
Sir,
Thank you, sir.
sir, could you please show me the classroom code once again?
Yes, yes, I will show that. Now this is the code. You can take a screenshot of this, and anyway, in the YouTube video also you will find it.
Okay, sir.
Sir, are we likely to have this class every Tuesday, sir, evening?
Yes, same time, most
Okay,
probably
sir. Then
until unless I am sick or something happens. Otherwise, it is the general thing.
yes, sir, because this class is highly helpful, sir. Then I will be very glad to join next week
Yeah,
also.
sure. Thank you
Okay,
all.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. 1 minute. I have a doubt.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Sir, could you please tell me what is this collab and how to use the collab?
Simply collab. You do one thing. Go to Google and search for Google Colab. Okay. The first thing you will get is collab.research.google.com. That is the Google Colab. There
Sir,
you
but Google Colab is like mostly like most likely used by those who are using that ML projects, right? AI and ML
yeah,
who are working for
and
that.
yes, and this is a bit easier because you can access it anywhere. Okay, you don't need to carry a device or anything. You don't need to store. Everything is stored in your drive. And generally Jupyter notebooks, and I think mostly Python is nowadays widely used in ML and these things. Okay, so you can
Yeah.
create a new notebook from here and you can
Sir, or
start
else we
working on.
can we like use PyCharm for this?
Yes, all of these are fine. It is your choice. And those who are not able to install something on their system, for them, this Google Colab and these things can help. That is what my thing is that. Like, see, on this tab, I cannot install the proper, like, I have not got a very good any other option for this. So I am going with Google Colab. But when I am on it on my computer, I use Visual Studio, VS Code, right? So
Yeah.
it depends on the use.
Sir, I went to that website and I got one website called research.com. But
Yeah,
then how to
research.
go to Python program typing window and all that?
Just go to like when you are here, no? Go to new notebook. Either it will just come or you can create like this. You can go to this file and then you click on new notebook, and this will the platform like we had will come, and then in every box you can type the code and then run it. For the first time, it will connect. It will allocate some RAM and these things for you, and it comes out fine.
So one fear from exam point of view,
Yes.
I'm not used to Spider or Google Colab like that, but used to Jupyter only. So
Yes, yes,
will it
it's
create
fine.
problem in exam or not? Is it
No,
compulsory?
no, not an issue. The thing is that all here in Jupyter, it is that you are running small codes. In case of when you are going to this Spider or these things, there the whole code will run at once. That is the only difference.
Okay.
Or when you are putting it in terminal, one line by one line will run. That is the only difference. No other thing.
Okay, okay. No,
That is the interface
I thought
difference.
whether is it mandatory to have knowledge of that at
No,
that exam point.
no. You see in the programming assignments also, the interface is given. If you are comfortable with that interface, I think there will be no issue.
Okay, okay, okay.
Sir, could you please tell me that whether in the final exam only MCQ will be there or there will be some programming work also?
This I am also not aware of because I am from a different institute and I am a teaching assistant who is like just taking the live classes to explain the thing. Exam thing. In fact, I also don't know.
Okay, so who can guide us about this question?
That you put a question in the discussion forum.
Okay.
In the discussion forum of the course, if you put there some TA who are directly with the sir, like who is taking the main course, they might answer, or either sir himself can answer.
Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you, sir. Very nicely advised by you all things.
Yeah.
Your explanations were more than satisfactory.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So thank you all.
Thank you,
See
sir.
you in the
Thank you,
next
sir. Thank you,
video.
sir.